excited to tell you this story. Everybody's been asking me about the lady in the window, and I want to say that this happened about 5 or 6 years ago, somewhere between there. And I've never really ever caught a ghost on camera or on film. Usually when I take a photo, I'll catch like an orb here or there, like a little spot or ball of like light or something, or kind of looks like a little bubble. Sometimes you'll catch those on camera. Those are spirits or entities. They can be, you know. This was the first time I've ever caught a spirit on film, so I was like super ecstatic to make this my first story for you guys. So let's get right to it. Now, I had never been out in Mims before in my entire life. This house out in Mims is a foreclosure home, and so what ended up happening to this property is that these people purchased it and they were starting to do some renovations on it, and then they just quit mid-renovation. They just up and left mid-renovation. Like, who does that, you know? They just let the house go. They just let the bank take it, you know, and it just sat on the market for so long that it went up for foreclosure at a really cheap rate. Personally, I think they're remarkably beautiful. I love colonial homes. So when my mom said she was thinking about putting a bid in for one, and do I want to go see it? No brainer. No brainer, dude. I'm definitely going to go see this house. So we load up my kids in the car, and so it was me, my mom, Chris, both my little soldiers, my dad, so all 6 of us. We load up in the car, we head over to Mims, and so we're checking out this house. And my mom, she used to walk this property all the time, and she used to take photos. It's huge. And when they left this place mid-renovation, it didn't sell. It was on the market for quite some time, and so it was going for really dirt cheap. And with this East Colonial home going for like super cheap, you couldn't pass up the opportunity. My mom's like, I'm going to put a bid in. I'm like, okay, great. So we load up the kids, and, you know, we drive over, all 6 of us, and it's my mom, my dad, Chris, my 2 little soldiers, and me. And so when you're pulling up this place, it looks immaculate. It's a 3-story house. There's 3 different floors, and then there's like an attic at the top, right? At the main house. That was just like the main house. And then you have the side house, which is it's a 2-car garage. Huge, ginormous. And then on top of the garage, it's an entire apartment. Like, it's basically like a whole nother house. Beautiful place. Now, every single door on this property was locked. The sliding glass door was locked, the guest house was locked, the main front door was locked. You know, you couldn't get into this place, so you weren't technically supposed to be in the house, but the house technically didn't really belong to anybody but the bank. So when you pull up to the property, it's like you get out of the car and you immediately feel like all eyes on you, right? I don't know if you guys have had that feeling before, like you're just being watched, and so you're kind of questioning in the back of your head, like, are neighbors watching this property? Do neighbors, you know, continually have their eyes on this house, so that, is that why you're being watched? But I mean, instantly, like, you know, like you're being watched. Like, I knew that something was there, some presence was there. So I'm communicating with my spirit guide as my mom's like giving me the tour of the property and walking me around the entire lots, you know, huge property. And so I'm following around, I'm taking photos, you know, and communicating with my spirit guide, like, what's here? There's definitely something here, and it's definitely strong. And I couldn't communicate with whatever it was. And all I got back was that it's feminine. That's all I heard. It's feminine. So I knew that it was a woman in the house before I even knew that I had caught her on camera and I had gotten a photo of her. So we're walking around the house, around the backyard, you know, where the side garage is, where my mom pulled up in the back. And so we're walking around the backyard. And then another couple drives up, and when the couple drives up, it's a man, a woman, a couple of their kids, and so my dad's talking to the dad, my mom's talking to the mom, you know, just kosherring out, talking about the property, how beautiful it is, you know, and so as we're walking around, the man who is there with his wife and their kids, he's like checking all the doors. Now, we already know the door's locked, my mom's been there plenty of times, but he's trying to get in because, you know, of course, he wants to check out the inside. Who doesn't when you want to go buy a house, right? So as we're walking around the side of the back and then up and then back to the front of the house, you know what I mean? We're standing there and the guy's like twisting the front knob and it's not opening, right? It's locked, of course. So then they keep walking, and as I'm walking, I hear my guide, he says, stop. So I stop and I just stand there and I'm looking around, you know, just checking out the house, checking out the yard, looking around, just standing there, not really knowing why, and everybody else is walking ahead of me and you know, walking around the side of the house. And so she says it's okay. And so I'm like, what's okay? You know what I mean? Because it's like I really wanted to get in the house and check it out too. My mom wanted to get in the house and check it out too. And so I turn around and I start walking back towards the front of the house, and I'm being guided towards the front of the house, and I stop in front of the house, and I'm standing in front of the front door, and he said, it's okay. So I walk up to the front door, and I'm looking at it, and in my head I'm thinking, you know, that grown man just couldn't twist this knob and unlock this door. Like, I'm not gonna be able to get into this house. Why am I standing in front of this door right now? Like, I couldn't, you know, I was like, what am I doing here? And my spirit guide was just like, you know, she says it's okay. So I'm like, okay. So I grab the knob, I twist the knob, and I open the door. The door just opens. So I'm the only one there. I step inside the house, and then I shut the door behind me. After I shut the door behind me, it was quiet. Just silent in the house, and it just felt like an empty house. Like any old house, your house, my house, your neighbor's house, just felt like an empty home. So I'm like, that's so weird that outside it just felt like there was so much energy, and then the second I step inside the house, it's empty. It just felt like nothing. So I'm just sitting there feeling out the energy of the house, and I take 2 steps forward, one and then the other. Then it hit me, right? I just felt all her presence. It just kind of like whoosh, down on me, like all at one time. And I was just like, oh, there you are. You know what I mean? So I pull out my cell phone, I check the time, and when I pull out my cell phone, I get this like really eerie, like negative vibe. So I was like, I'm just checking the time, and I put my phone right back in my pocket, and I can't hear her, I can't see her, I can only feel the energy of the lady of the house. And so she's guiding me, you know, through the house from one room to the next room to the next room, and she's depicting and choosing how long I can stay in a room, if I enter a room. So I'm just kind of allowing that energy to guide me throughout the house. So I'm, you know, on the 2nd floor, and I'm on the 3rd floor. Beautiful home, immaculate. And the house seemed easy. The house seemed nice. It didn't seem like there had been like a lot of turmoil that had happened in the house until you got up to that floor. I can't remember if it's the 2nd or the 3rd floor, but once you got up to the floor where there was this kid's bedroom, there was a lot of sorrow in this room because they were taking that bedroom and they were renovating the bedroom and turning it into a bathroom. And so this really had the lady of the house irritated, upset, frazzled. She was just very much displeased with the fact that a child's bedroom was being turned into a bathroom, and that's the only room in the house that you could feel sorrow. Like at the pit of your stomach, you felt it, kind of like a lump in your throat. So that was very, very interesting that she allowed me to feel a part of that. And then so we're continuing to walk, you know, up to the 3rd floor, and I see that there's another set of stairs, and I'm like, wow, this house just keeps going, you know, it's crazy, it's huge, and I'm loving every moment of it. And as soon as I get up to the 4th set of stairs and I take 2 steps, I was like, I felt like an invisible wall like hit me, like, nope, nope, not today, like you cannot go up those stairs. So I go back down the stairs, and I go back out through the front door. And as I go back out through the front door, I walk around front, and I tell my mom, you know, what had happened, because we're getting ready to leave. They're like, oh, come on, let's go. And so we're in the car, and I didn't tell my mom I'd even gotten in the house until we were on our drive home. You know what I mean? And I'm going through the photos on my phone, and that's when I see this image of this woman of this house. Okay, and I was like super excited, like, oh my god, I caught a ghost on camera, right? So it was super cool. I had never experienced anything like that until that point, where I was actually just given a tour of her place. I mean, the door was locked. Nobody could get into the house. And then all of a sudden, the door's unlocked, and she just let me in. So I'm like grateful that I got to tour the place. So my mom, a couple days later, my mom's talking to my dad about it, and this was like a week went by. And so I go back to my mom's house that following weekend, and she's telling me about how she's gonna go back to this house, and she's gonna go check it out, and she wants to go inside too, and she wonders if that front door is still unlocked, and da-da-da-da, and how did I get in? I told her that I just twisted the knob. I just got in. It just happened. You know what I mean? She just let me into the house. So my mom's like, I'm gonna go back, da-da-da-da, I can't wait to check it out. And my spirit guide says, no, she has no protection, no. So I'm like, Mom, I'm gonna go with you. You know, my guide says, you have no protection, I'm gonna go protect you. But then I'm like thinking, I'm protecting her from more than just what's going on here, because that spirit was so strong, I need to be able to be there just in case anything happens. Because I didn't know what this spirit was capable of. I mean, the lady of the house, she didn't cause me any harm, but I still, at the same time, you don't really know that spirit, and if my mom can't communicate or have anybody to communicate with her or for her or through her, then is she safe? I just didn't know. So I went back with my mom just to ensure her safety from both this physical world and the other realm. And so when we go back to this house, it's just me and my mom this time. We left the kids at home, we left my dad at home, and it was just me and my mom. And so we pull up, and then, you know, another couple pulls up, and it was just a man and a woman this time. Just a different couple, just a man and a woman. And we're just, you know, walking around the house, and me and my mom are acting like we'd never been there before, and we just love the place. And so we're standing by the sliding glass door, and this guy, he the husband of the woman, he's like pulling on the sliding glass door, and it's locked, you know, couldn't get in. So we're standing by the window next to the sliding glass door. I'm short. I don't know if you guys have those short people issues. I have short people issues. So I can't really, like, see into the windows. Like, this woman's just standing on her tippy toes looking through the windows, doing one of those numbers, you know, like we do, the window peeping. And so I have to stand on top of, like, the unit that was there, like a AC unit that was there, and I'm like on top of that on my knees, and I'm like in like this on the windows, just kind of looking around, even though I know I'd already seen the place. And instantly it came through the window, and like I don't know how else to explain that. That's exactly what happened. Just boom, just instant headache, instant migraine. It honestly, it like made me a little uneasy, in the essence that like I literally like stumbled off of the AC unit and had to be like, oh my god, give me a moment. Like, it just was an instant migraine that I had gotten, and it just like took over my whole head. And I'm like, Mom, I said, something's like not right now. And the woman who was there, she felt something too, because instantly after that happened, she was like, oh honey, well let's go, we gotta go. And her husband was like, oh well, don't you want to finish checking out the rest of the house? She says, no, I'm good, no, I'm fine, let's go, we gotta get out of here. And my mom looks at me, and she's so excited, right, because she's like, oh, we're gonna be on our own so we can finally get in and I can look at the place, right? That's what my mom's thinking. But I'm like, Mom, like, give me a minute. Like, you don't understand what I felt. Like, that was serious. Like, you know, I had been here the first time, everything was cool and kosher, she just let me in. And this time she was, boom, instant migraine. Like, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? Like, you've already been, what do you want? You know what I mean? It was like one of those types of things. But I can't speak to her, so I'm communicating through my spirit guide, like, you know, I'm just here because my mom wants a tour of the house. Can we get a tour of the house? You know what I mean? My mom wants to buy the place. She would like to be a homeowner. Like, I'm trying to communicate through my spirit guide to explain to the lady of the house, like, I mean no harm. We mean no harm. We just want another tour. And, so me and my mom are walking around to the side of the house because we get permission, again, to go in. So we're walking around to the side of the house. We go right back to the front door, and we walk right in through the front door, me and my mom. So my mom pulls out her phone, and she's, like, taking photos, and we're walking through the house, and everything's going good, you know, no issues or anything like that. And so my mom's like loving it. She's like, I can't wait to put my bid in. And then we get up to the 4th floor, and I was like, Mom, last time I couldn't go up here. This is the only part of the house I've never seen. And the energy was just gone. There was no invisible wall. Like, we could just freely just walk up the 4th set of stairs like we could walk through the other 3 flights of the house. So we were able to go into the attic. We were welcomed up there. And then when you got into the attic, there was like the window onto the side was like broken, maybe during like a storm or something, and you could tell there was just a little bit of water damage that had been coming in from like previous rains. And then there was something on the like on the roof, like they had, like, not the roof, the ceiling. There was something on the ceiling, as if somebody was trying to like make repairs to patch a part of the ceiling in the attic, and it just felt like that was like her spot. You know what I mean? But it was very wide open. It was very comforting. It wasn't eerie. It was very clean. You know what I mean? It was just, it was a very nice attic, you know. The attic was basically like another room or floor of the house. It didn't look like a traditional attic. There weren't like beams and boards. Like, it looked like a room. It was very nice. And instantly we're standing there and I'm like, Mom, we gotta go. Just go, 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 go. So I'm like, Mom, we need to leave. You know what I mean? So as we're walking down on the 4th floor, and we walk around the corner to get to the 2nd set of stairs, get down, we look out the window and we see a truck coming down the road. A truck's like coming down the road, and then it pulls into the driveway, and we're like, oh snap, we're no longer alone. Like, we're in this house. We can't go out the front door because somebody's coming in through the front. So if we can't go out the front door, how are we gonna get out? So we're like walking down, and we're on the 2nd floor, and we're getting ready to walk down the flight of stairs to get from the 2nd floor to the main floor. And I look over and I said, Mom, look. Dumbfounded, right? I'm like dumbfounded right now. The sliding glass door that was locked, that we hadn't even touched, was opened. Like I'm holding it like this, like you can see what I'm doing right now. It was open like this. There was like, I want to say it was like a good like 3-4 inches. Like, it was, that's probably not 3 or 4 inches, but it was a gap in the door. The door was just open. And so I'm like, Mom, look, she's letting us out. Like, come on, like, this is our get out. She was like, oh, hey, you know, you had the tour of the house, leave. You know what I'm saying? She opened the door for us to go. So we went out the sliding glass door, we shut the sliding glass door, we got back in the car, and we left, you know. And I gave my thanks, you know, as I was walking out. You know, I had my spirit guide communicate thank you. And that was the last time we had been to this house or seen this house. It was definitely an experience to cherish. It was an experience to have. I just told you both parts of the story, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really think you can sum it up any better than that. It was amazing. I'm definitely excited I got to experience that. I'm definitely excited my mom got to experience that. I'm really glad I was there to protect my mom. With what I felt from the lady of the house when I got like smacked through the window, just that migraine that hit me, I'm really glad I was there with my mom, because I would hate for her to go inside that house without protection. So it was remarkable. So thank you so much for listening to my story. I have plenty more stories to come, creepy, spooky stories. So stay tuned, sit tight. Thoughts, comments, questions, and concerns? Email me. Like, share, subscribe. Tell all your friends about it. Pay attention to what's going on around you. You don't know if there's a ghost or an energy or an entity or a spirit. Like, you don't know if there's something out there. Pay attention to what's around you. So when I say pay attention, I'm not talking about pay attention to my video, but yes, pay attention to my video. But I'm talking about pay attention to everything. You never know. Everywhere you go, there could be a spirit. Everywhere you go, there could be an energy. There could be an entity. You have your haters. You have your naysayers. You have whatever, you know. I know what I went through is real. I know what other people go through and experience is real. If you've ever been in these types of situations or had anything spooky happen to you, or, you know, you want to share your story as well, hit me up. Email me. You know, hiddenpath369@gmail.com. I would love to hear your stories as well. I have plenty more stories to come, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching. Hidden Path 369. Till next time.